Craftsman Days are here at Lowe's with big savings on the tools you need. Save $100 on the Craftsman V20 6-tool power tool combo kit, now at $199. No matter what the project is, Craftsman's high-quality, high-performance products empower you to build on. Stop by your nearest Lowe's store and check out the full line of Craftsman tools today. Valid through 6/18 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Welcome aboard. Busy hour coming up here on Follow the Money. In 15 minutes, Reeler Fugazi, bottom of the hour. Eddie Olczyk, the great Eddie Olczyk, is going to join the program. His thoughts on the Derby, throwing some NHL to him as well. And in pocket plays. Here, we'll begin with the Major League Baseball card as games are going to be beginning this hour, including, we think, the Nats and the Reds. I think the original first pitch was at 6:10 Eastern time, currently in a rain delay. I wanted to give you a couple of numbers here on Hunter Green, who is going today, who was brilliant to begin the season. Last couple of starts, not so much. He has allowed 8 runs in 9 innings, last 2 starts, 5 home runs, by the way, in there. And keep in mind, those 2 teams that he faced were the Orioles and the Rockies. So this was after he posted a sub-1 ERA with only 1 home run in his first 4 starts. So the 3 runs overall in 6 innings came to the Rockies last Saturday. He is averaging 99.2 miles an hour with the four-seam fastball this year. That's an increase of 1.5 miles an hour from last year, which is nuts. So he owns the fastest four-seamer in the majors. His slider has been his best pitch so far this year. Batters are hitting 114 off a green with the slider, right? They're 5 of 44 on the season and a 52.2% whiff rate. Second highest in the majors behind the Mariners closer, Andres Munoz. Opposing pitchers have thrown sliders 21.5% of the time to the Nationals, 22nd in Major League Baseball, but they rank in a really super advanced metric here. They are 27th in baseball against the slider in runs above average. So do we get a healthy dose of Green tonight if the game actually gets underway here soon? Throwing that slider, he's been absolutely unhittable with it, and the Nats are not good against that pitch.
Very good.
So, but his K-prop is also, because it's Hunter Green, his K-pop's, but it's maybe another angle here. Yeah. I don't like this Parker, and I know Greg Peters.
They're 5-1 when he starts.
Yeah, I think that's coming back to the pack.
All right, well, I mentioned yesterday, too, the funk that Cruz is in against the Phillies. But now I know it's the Reds, but Cruz has had some issues, too.
I know Greg Peterson today on VSiN.com made the case for the Reds on the run line tonight.
Okay.
So
it's a good card. Some good games tonight.
Yeah,
As I mentioned, Fried, they're 6-0 when he starts. He's a good-sized favorite against the Rays. Yep, they're laying $250. I'm surprised at the Orioles price, $1.45 with Kramer against red-hot Kansas City, who's won 9 of 10, and their starters ERA 2.15 during that run. They've been awesome. Are you concerned? Your level of concern with the Red Sox? They played the easiest schedule in baseball. They're only a game over 500.
Well, Paul, how about the last couple of days with the bullpen?
Brutal, I know.
It happened
6-0 the other day, and then
yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay, cruising along.
Yep.
By the way, maybe score a couple more runs off Jose Barrios to think that your bullpen can be a little bit more secure with that lead. Nope. Back-to-back blowing leads by that team against, by the way, like not a very good Blue Jays roster or a lineup. So that's not a good sign, and their schedule in May isn't exactly easy.
It's tough. They were 55-1 for a reason here for most wins. I mentioned Machado's issues on the road going back, a 3-for-21 funk, although the Friars went 6-0 against the Pirates last year and dominated. Cease $1.35 on the road against Keller. Pittsburgh, here we go, 12-20 on the season. Oh, boy.
Okay, but I would ask you this. Mitch Keller has some pretty good career numbers overall. When you look at the advanced numbers, like WOBA, batting average allowed, not a lot of walks in there, exit velocity, expected slugging, all the the deep stuff that you want to dive into. Pretty good numbers here against the current roster for the Padres. I can't trust Dylan Cease. I know he had the one really awful game this year that was in Sacramento where he allowed 6 runs in the first inning. The game went over in the first. That's going to skew his numbers and make them ugly here to begin the season. That's going to take a long time to correct that start. But if you're ever going to bet the Pirates without Paul Skeens going, and who was roughed up yesterday anyway, I think tonight might be the night to take him on a plus price.
All right.
I don't like Dylan Cease.
I know. That's fair.
I drafted him yet again in my fantasy league, and there's nothing I can do about it. But if I drop him, then he'll turn into the Cy Young winner. So can't do that.
Are you buying the A's?
Yeah, a little bit.
Hoagland, what's his name? Yeah, Hoagland's making his debut tonight. He's $1.35 on the road against god-awful Miami. They're 11-4 in their last 15. That shows you where the Marlins are at home, and this guy's making his debut. They're $1.35.
Yeah.
Oh, mama.
So I said this earlier. Like, I follow this ballpark account. Mm-hmm. They factor in a lot of stuff, and they have really good numbers, and it's like really, really deep. And I don't even know how to figure out some of the stuff that they're talking about. But one thing that they pointed out today is that the guy going for the Marlins, they call it a meatball pitch. He has allowed a meatball pitch 13.5% of the time. He hasn't allowed like home runs this year. But that number of meatball pitches, it's the worst pitch that you can throw, according to their metrics. That's a super high number. So they think the home runs might be coming tonight against like this A's lineup, who certainly have guys who can go yard. I have not bet any home run props, but I'm just going to throw it out there to tell you that the guy going today for the Marlins the home runs might be coming here sometime soon, based on that.
I mentioned earlier, Sonny Gray, 6-0 to the over. Yamamoto, 5-1 to the under. How about that price?
Heard Mike Palm today.
What is he, $1.80 in Atlanta?
Oh, he's so good.
Wow, that's a big one.
So Mike Palm had a good breakdown on money moves today. I was watching it with JVT and Stormy, and he said that Yamamoto was not crisp in his last start. He allowed a bunch of walks. He went back and looked at every game that Yamamoto has pitched so far, and when he allows 3 walks, he comes back the next game and allows like nothing.
Okay.
So he wanted to approach it from that fashion. Yeah, he's laying a huge number here in this game, but I think the number is spot on. I think it has to be this big based on the Braves throwing homes tonight. And still, it's May 2nd today. The Braves really not impressing me that much.
Yeah, well, after the start, it's been better.
Of course, but thank God it's been better for them.
Well, yeah.
Right?
The other day was bad, losing to Colorado 2-1. Mm-hmm. That's no good. What can we do with Polanco props? That he's on fire and Seattle's on fire offensively.
You know that he has 9 home runs already on this season?
Yes.
Well, so I know that I've been following their games at home. He's been hitting a lot of home runs in the games that I've been like following online anyway at home when they play in Seattle. Now they're playing in Texas. He is certainly a guy that you want to keep in mind when he is playing a below average right-handed pitcher.
And I think this is the guy tonight.
I think Leiter might be the guy. That could be allowing a bunch of stuff to this Mariners team. So Woo's going tonight for Seattle. I thought maybe with the Rangers being at home, they might be a small favorite. I definitely was going to grab Seattle at a plus price. Never saw that. They're favored. I think that makes sense to me. But this Mariners offense, I think a month into the season, I don't want to go completely nuts based on what they were last year, but they were enough for me to buy in on most wins in May at 33-1. And I don't know. Do you want to get crazy and look at like an American League number, hoping that they're going to get Gilbert back and that injury's not too serious?
Yeah. Don't hate it. It's about time, though, after the last couple of years, how bad they've been.
I think
it's refreshing.
Right, because if you sit around and wait like another month, then it's going to be too late to buy into a team's offense that might be turning the corner. And so you might be there with Seattle already. Can I give you a Malinsky special tonight?
Sure.
This is a team that has been on the road for a long time, and they're coming back home to play their first game. It's the Cubs at the Brewers. Brown takes on Priester. The Brewers played 4 games in San Francisco, followed by 3 in St. Louis, and then 3 more in Chicago. So that's a 10-game road trip. Now, to me, ideally, it would have been something like San Francisco, L.A., and then Arizona, to be out on the West Coast for that long, and then you come home and it's a super long flight. And here's the good news, I guess, about it. They played yesterday, and they got shellacked by the White Sox. Again, that was a day game closer to home, so much easier travel. But it still qualifies as no rest day here in between the end of the road trip and the beginning of the homestand. Adam Burke, here's the thing. I could not bet the Cubs on the money line, minus 120. Adam Burke had a great breakdown on vsin.com today. He's expecting runs. But I think if you want to go to battle with the Cubs maybe in the first 5, Where are my numbers on them? I believe that they are 21.
Where you had that?
I'll get them here in a second.
Yep.
They're like 21, 7, and 4, something like that in the first 5 this year. They are elite. They're the best team in baseball in the first 5. So always something to keep in mind there, obviously. And I told you a little bit earlier, I think we're going to get some home runs tonight in the Rockies-Giants game. Based on more about who's on the bump compared to the 15-mile-an-hour winds that are blowing out.
And they're 6-0 with Ray as well. Trying to get some odds boost and quick picks here on the baseball card today. Harper and Witt, each over 1.5 total bases, plus 260. It's a pretty good boost at Will Hill Caesars. Mentioned that 22-game hitting streak that Witt has. And it's a hit party. De La Cruz over 0.5, Tatis over 1.5, Witt over 1.5, Bichette over 1.5, and Carroll 0.5 is 25-1. And you always talk about these the last couple of days, and Caesars tweets it out, these ridiculous home run prop parlays. But the quick pick today, Ohtani, Alvarez, and Tucker to go deep, 45-1. Why not? And Alvarez is going against the White Sox, too, at Cannon, and they're 0-5 when he starts.
Okay.
So, and we know Tucker's been on it as well.
That's great info.
Those are pretty good.
I will say that opposing starting pitchers are 23-9 under their K prop against the Twins. Now, that's not enough for me to make a bet on it. You want to dig a little bit deeper on that. I'll point that out, though. Starting pitchers are also 21-11 under their K prop versus the Cubs. And here you go. Yep, the Cubs are 21-7-4 in the first 5. The Phillies are 17-9-5 in the first 5. Thanks to our buddy Kevin Rogers, who tracks all that stuff.
Derby Day almost here. Why not make your first bet your best bet? With First Bet, you can wager on Churchill, Belmont, and tracks around the world, all from your phone. Go to firstbet.com. Enter promo code VSIN200 for a $200 sign-up bonus. Don't miss out. Bet smarter on the Derby with First Bet. VSIN200, your code. $200 sign-up bonus. Get the First Bet.
Pauly is going to call this series one of the best he has ever watched. Is that real or fugazi? Next here on VSIN.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Follow the Money on VSIN.
Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard are here to make you a friend of ours.
That would mean you were made guy.
Investigating what is and isn't legit.
That's a fugazi. All right? That's a fugazi. I looked at it for 2 seconds.
Seeing through the lines to make you a better.
I know you know. And I know you know I know you know.
The FTM Army is being sent for.
In our thing, you get sent for, you go in alive, you come out dead. And it's your best friend that does.
These two wise guys would never steer you wrong.
Forget about it.
This is Real or Fugazi on Follow the Money.
Love it. Don't forget Mobland Sunday nights as well. That show has delivered. Little wild with the last ending, what happened, but it's great with the cast, with Hardy, Brosnan, and Mirren as well. Okay, Real or Fugazi. Knicks Pistons was a top 5 first-round series all time.
Okay, let me answer it like this. You know when you're younger and you have like a top 5 list of hottest women in the world, right? You probably kept a running list when you were younger.
Sure.
For many years, Pam Anderson. Pam Anderson was number 1 with a bullet.
Carmen Electra.
Sure.
I had a crush on Alicia Silverstone there for a second.
Oh, who didn't?
Yeah, with that.
She was great. They're going to remake Clueless and make it a TV show, I guess.
Okay.
She's going to be in it. I bring that up because I did have a running list. All my friends had like a running list. We would update it all the time.
Yeah.
I don't keep a running list of the best first-round series I've ever watched. But I can tell you, yes, recent memory, that's as good as anything I've watched.
Yeah.
Right? From the very beginning of Game 1 to what happened last night, I'll throw a couple more at you, right?
I'm thinking of something now. It was a different time, okay? It was a different time. But we used to do a local show together. And to coincide with the NFL draft, we used to do the skirt draft.
Oh, my God, that's right.
And we would draft on, if you had a shot, like the one woman. And then my pick won. And she came in and I met her. Jessica Burciaga.
Oh my Lord! That's when I lived
met her.
That's when I lived in the Bay Area, I think.
Yeah, I didn't know what to say. I couldn't believe it. I was one of the. I've interviewed Elway, Tyson. I was nervous.
Well, how would you not?
She was so beautiful, and she won, and she's sitting right in front of me.
Peak Jessica Burciaga was.
Whoa, that Instagram banging.
Wow.
Yeah, everyone had a list. Sure.
So, but Celtics Wizards, or was that a second round series?
That was second.
John Wall.
Celtics Bulls. First round, I think 4 games went to overtime. It's crazy.
When was this?
03, I want to say 03. I could be off. 03, 06, something like that.
So I don't know which round it was in, but I can promise you there was at least a year or two. And for those of you who might be watching on Masson right now, you'll probably know as a Washington Wizards fan, when was that year or years with Gilbert Arenas? They had a series in the playoffs that was absolutely epic, and I think every game was super high scoring. That's one of the best series I've ever watched. But in terms of overall first round, that was fantastic. And by the way, we thought it was going to be a death match for the Knicks and a team that they did not want to face. It absolutely played out like that.
Yeah. To think that the home team lost 5 in a row. Detroit still has lost 10 in a row at home in the playoffs. And how all those games work. The blown leads. The in-play swings. How about game 1? A 21-0 run. And the young kids not being intimidated going into the Garden and winning a couple times.
Not at all.
So, yeah, the Knicks won, but still it looked lunacy that the Knicks were a $4 favorite series price.
You know, people live betting looking to grab middles. They must have had a field. I did not do that last night with the game. You had an opportunity to grab monster numbers on the Pistons.
I think Paul Bovey took 5-1.
In play with the Knicks?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you could have played that 100 different times last night.
Yep.
No team was ever dead, and no team ever looked good to win it. Crazy.
All right, I'm repping. I got my Bobby Hall retro Winnipeg Jets jersey on tonight. And can we make it 3? We got 2 left, but even if Winnipeg wins, it's all about Edmonton, and the drought in Canada will continue. They haven't won a cup since '93. Real or fugazi?
It's going to continue?
Yeah, they will not win it.
Yeah, I lean real on that.
It's all Edmonton then, right? I mean, Jeff Davis makes Winnipeg a dog against Colorado, even though they'd have home ice. And Toronto's a huge dog, even though they have home ice.
Well,
not huge, but
Florida's
say, $1.85 here.
Jeff Davis did make a good point that the way that they play and how they're constructed, he thinks the number there's a path here to victory for Toronto. Now, is there a path for them?
I trust Berube.
Yeah, but
Stolar seems to be a good,
That's only one series we're talking about here. Is there a path for Toronto then to get by the winner of Carolina and Washington? I think maybe against Washington.
Yes.
Could they beat Carolina?
Yes.
Okay. But also, I think that the Kings kind of let a sleeping giant wake up when they had him dead to rights down 2-0, and they were the best team in the series after 2 games.
They led late in Game 3. They were up 2 goals in the third period of Game 4.
Sure. So now the Oilers are favored. So if you get Oilers in Winnipeg to go to the Cup,
that's in play.
Then of course, a great angle. Yeah.
What they did tomorrow is there are 2 Game 7s tomorrow. Okay. One starts at 4:30 Pacific. The other one starts at 5 o'clock Pacific. Both games involve a team from Denver. This is an all-time bad job scheduling. Real or fugazi?
I would lean real because you could have made it the whole day. Here's what you could have done, right? First of all, let me say this, though. For as long as I can remember, we get the Kentucky Derby leading into like an epic matchup in the NHL.
Right.
That's always the way it plays out. So naturally, the NHL game was going to be on post-Kentucky Derby. The NBA had a chance here to put their game at, let's say, I don't know, noon, 12:30 Pacific, 3:30 Eastern. And then that would lead right into the Kentucky Derby, which would lead right into the hockey game. Now, that's a hell of a, 8-hour stretch. But instead, you're going to have both games with Denver teams involved going at the same exact time. That's kind of a disservice to Denver-based fans.
That's a killer.
Yes,
I know.
it is.
Yeah. Why not go even 4 and 6 you could do?
I'll tell you what, if I lived in the city, what if you had season tickets to both? You're like, okay, what am I supposed to do here? I love both my teams.
Yeah.
I can't go to now I have to sell my tickets, and I can't be live at Game 7 to watch Nuggets and the Clippers because I have to watch the Avalanche play at the same time.
Preseason starts tonight. WNBA. Caitlin Clark in some spots is the favorite to win MVP, which is absolutely absurd. Real or Fugazi?
I'll go Fugazi on that. The reason why is because I think if you make her like a decent enough number, and maybe they did already, I wasn't really paying attention to it, but the built-up liability would be on one person, and it would be her. So I think that books are basically, maybe that liability is kind of there already, and maybe this is kind of like a Tiger Woods thing with no matter what number you put up, she's going to get bet because she's by far and away, like she's the face of the league and will always be.
Well, the numbers Wilson puts up, though, oh, man.
Oh, I understand that.
Yeah,
I would say that it does create value on teams like Wilson and or maybe Collier to win the award because the talent level is the best it's ever been in this sport. But, I mean, anything better than 3-1 or 4-1 on Caitlin Clark would have been an automatic play because they did build this team up and the roster up big time in the offseason, and they're a true contender here.
Yep. All right. I hate to admit it, but Derby Day is usually a letdown. Real or Fugazi?
Well,
here's why I say it, because it's just all that time, the hype. You sit around, the thing's over in 2 minutes.
Well, that's what's so awesome about it.
But also, I remember it was like Smarty Jones, funny side. You had so many close calls, and then the Triple Crown happened. It's kind of like Y2K. Oh, all hell's gonna break. It was fun. Nothing happened. It's like, okay, well, that was cool. The letdown after. Come on, I know you were pissed. You're like, the Triple Crown finally happened, and you had the empty feeling. You're like, that would feel better than what it did.
Well, that's I that really never affected me because I've never been a lifelong horse guy.
I felt let down. I just felt it was like.
Are you talking about Triple Crown overall?
When it finally, remember, it went into the long drought.
Oh, well, that.
And then it was. Okay, well, I guess back to your life.
It didn't really hit home. Oh, but remember, we talked to Kenny Mayne back then.
Uh-huh.
Was it Pharaoh? American Pharaoh?
I think, yeah. I think so, right?
Who ended the drought? Kenny Mayne, lifelong horse guy, is like, it's one of the greatest feelings. He sat there and watched it win. He's like, it's one of the best feelings I've ever had. Can't top it. So for people who are, remember the reaction with Barbaro?
Oh, that was big.
I mean.
What happened, yeah, and then the updates.
The horse got injured. Are they going to have to put it down?
I remember the updates. He's feeling frisky. He had an apple. Watch out. Well, that was.
Here comes the comeback now.
Yeah.
He's going to be good to go. No, Derby Day's awesome to me. The parties. I tell you what, I'd love to go to one at some point. With how seriously people take it, how they dress up, how they get involved to be there at Churchill Downs, I think that'd be amazing.
Mint julep made correctly. Shout out JR.
Have a couple of those, yeah.
Great job. That was funny yesterday. Margaritas. What are we doing? It's a margarita. What are we doing here? He sizes up and does a scouting report on the bartender to know what he's going to order right when he walks in and what he's up against.
Advantage play.
Yeah. What are we doing here? It's a margarita. It's an old fashioned. What are we doing here?
Well, he also said that margaritas are they're botched so often it blows his mind. It's like it's impossible to blow a margarita as often as people do. So, all right, let's follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. The great Eddie Olczyk is going to join the program coming up next. We'll get his betting advice for the Kentucky Derby. Hopefully a little bit of time as well to ask if the Blues will extend their series against the Jets, make it 7 games. That's next here on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Derby Day is tomorrow, and the great Eddie Olczyk is kind enough to join the program here one day before. Busiest man in the world with the NHL playoffs going on and, of course, the Derby. He'll get to the track bright and early tomorrow morning. Their coverage begins at noon Eastern, and he is on the Progressive guest line. Eddie, thanks so much for the time today. How are you?
Hey, Mitch and Pauly. Been too long. Great to be with you guys. Hope everything is well. And, we just put in a 5-hour shift on USA Network for the Phillies ran for the Lilies. Good cheer. The 11-horse win the Oaks. And now we turn our attention to the Kentucky Derby tomorrow. So thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
You bet. No, thank you. Thank you. Some really sharp people have called journalism like the clear-cut horse here in the race. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. I do. I think he breathes different air. I think it's him and everybody else. But I think since the addition of Baeza into the body of the field, the also eligible number 21, he ran against journalism, about 5 or 6 weeks ago at the Santa Anita Derby and only got beat 3/4 of a length. They only went 1 1/8, but Baeza is very well regarded, and I think it's those two horses and everybody else. Now, we had a rainstorm here today. The track came up off. Tomorrow it's supposed to rain all day, so use that in your handicapping toolbox for tomorrow. But I believe, though, Mitch, is that it's journalism, Baeza, and then it's everybody else. And, we know what horse racing is. Sometimes it doesn't work out that way, and you got to run the 1 1/4 in front of 170,000 people and, shipping from California, those things. But I do believe is that horse journalism is a step above everybody else. Now, if he does it tomorrow, great. If he doesn't, well, then it's time to move on. But I just think he reminds me of a senior in high school compared to the freshman and sophomore.
Ooh, wow.
He takes 2 steps for everybody else's 1. And I think that's just why I think he's going to love the 1 1/4 and try to figure it out tomorrow. And I'm looking right now, last odds I looked, I think he was 7-2. Sandman was second. The 17 horse was 5-1. But if you can get 3-1 on him, I got a couple future tickets on him north of 12-1. So I'm sitting in a pretty good spot. But at 3-1, I think I'll be wearing a path out for my Twin Spires app, so I can go ahead and make a few more bucks tomorrow.
How about what are you thinking, Super and or the Tri? Who can follow that?
Well, yeah. I mean, I got 8 and 21 there. Obviously, journalism and Baeza the 21, and then I'm going to use the 14 Tiz-tastic and number 17 Sandman.
Okay.
I think you definitely have to use Sandman. So look at. When you get to these situations, is that if you have the bankroll to be able to hit the all button or however you want to call it, I mean, anybody can suck up for 3rd or 4th. And we had a 41-1 shot. Hit the board in the Oaks today, and that just made the Super, made the trifecta. So I like the 13 horse. That's why my voice is a little hoarse, no pun intended. Was hoping that the 13 would be able to run in a little tighter, ended up, being 3rd and paid like $760 to show. So, I like 14 Tiz-tastic is going to be everything north of 20-1, I believe, Pauly. So, I would say, maybe use the 14. Now, this is rain or shine. Rain or shine. Doesn't matter. Just, I'm going to use those same horses regardless if it's a fast track or not.
Okay.
Very good. Well, what do you think about the 3-horse Final Gambit? I've heard people make the case for him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to use. I mean, if I'm going to hit the all button at some point there, Mitch, I'll get them all at maybe in the 3rd or 4th spot, but not going to be in my top 2.
Okay, Luxor Cafe, you like that horse or no?
Well, the horse is running. I mean, the horse is running some sloppy tracks and really seems to excel in it and on it. And look at it. If you think one of these horses can come over and run like Forever Young did last year, well then you're gonna use it. So if it's an off track, I would move up the 7-horse Luxor Cafe a little bit more than I would if it ends up being a drier track.
As a former pro athlete, and you won a cup with the '94 Rangers, I mean, Game 7, you couldn't even hear the guys sing the national anthem. It was so loud.
Yeah.
Well, can you put this in perspective of what this is like with all the people and the pomp and circumstance and everyone dressing up? What is it like to be there?
It's a scene to be seen. It's people everywhere having a good time, dressing to the nines. The excitement level when the horses go running by the grandstand, people are so jacked up and so excited, and it's look at you don't need to gamble or bet on horses. Like, if you love to be around people and you love to have a good time, Churchill Downs does an amazing job, and they're playing music in between the races, so it's an event. I mean, it is an event, and anybody that comes to the Derby or one of the big races, they say, "Well, geez, how did I not do this before?" So I would encourage anybody that gets the opportunity. You won't be disappointed.
Eddie Olczyk, our guest. Follow the money, Pauly and Mitch Visa, the Sports Betting Network. Watch the coverage tomorrow on NBC, and also watch the coverage on Sunday. Does hockey with TNT. What do you think of Hellebuck and Winnipeg's chances to close it out tonight? St. Louis has won 14 in a row at home.
Well, I'll just tell you guys, as we were talking before it came on air, if St. Louis wins, I'll be in Winnipeg on Sunday night. I don't know how I'm going to get there from Louisville, Kentucky, but I'm going to get to the Peg on Sunday night. So, well, the way the series has gone, I mean, you would expect a Game 7, right? I mean, that's just sometimes that's just the way the ball bounces or the puck does. So, he has the ability. He has the ability to have a game, and that's what Connor Hellebuyck has to do, right? Like, I mean, I haven't been around the hockey the last 24 hours because of, all the horse racing coverage. So, I mean, I think that, without Mark Scheifele, no Nikolai Ehlers, they got to get a game from their goaltender, right? And he has the ability to be able to do it. And, everybody's waiting for him to do it come playoff time. And, his numbers are better in these playoffs than they have been in the past, but it's been a disappointment, obviously. But if he has one game, I'll be honest with you, nobody's gonna remember the first couple of games in this series. So he does have that ability, but they are playing shorthanded, that being the Winnipeg Jets. And I just have a feeling I'm going to go to Winnipeg, and I spent almost 6 years of my life in Winnipeg when I played there for the Jets. So it's always great to go back there. And if I'm not there to start the show, you guys know I had some issues trying to get to Winnipeg on Sunday night.
Did the Kings wake up a sleeping giant when they had the Oilers down 2-0 and they were in control of Game 3?
How disappointing was that? I mean, they had them on the ropes.
Yep.
I didn't like the challenge, obviously, by Jim Hiller in Game 3. I mean, that just, the timing there, that just, and watching it, and, sometimes it's a coin flip, and I don't think in that situation you want to open up the door for those guys. You know what, guys? What I thought about is that the more I watch Edmonton late in games when they're down, and obviously they were down a couple of times in that series, I almost feel as like when they have the puck on their stick late in games and they need a goal, it reminds me of Patrick Mahomes when he has the rock in his hand the last minute of the game. He's going to score, right? I mean, he's going to drive the field, and they're going to score or put him in a chance for a field goal or whatever, score a touchdown and win the game. And I got that sense now here with the Edmonton Oilers and Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid and what have you, is that they find a way. And to not have Matthias Ekholm in that series, that just to me was that's a tough loss for LA. Like that was really tough because they should have been up 3-0 in that series, and here they are going home.
Well said.
Yep.
Not to mention game 4 might have been worse because they went conservative and sat back and ate a 2-goal lead.
Oh no, for sure. Yeah, for sure. But I mean, I get it, and I think it's human nature. Look, they're not saying hey, let's sit back. I mean, they're not saying that. And sometimes it just becomes human nature where you want to be safe. But as we all know, sometimes people have said it. I mean, safe is not good, and that's what ended up happening. And I thought they blew it in Game 3. Let's just make it perfectly clear. I thought they blew it in Game 3.
Eddie, you're the man. You're the best. We can't take enough of your time. Obviously, very, very busy. We appreciate that. Enjoy the Derby tomorrow and the rest of the playoffs. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, guys. Always great to be with you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and we'll be in touch soon. Yeah, for sure. There you go, Eddie Olczyk. Their coverage begins at noon Eastern tomorrow. He said he'll get to the track probably around 7:30 because...
You imagine getting into that thing?
What is it like for 170,000 people going to the same event? I don't know. Never been, but I've been to
I think it was Pat 40. So, a couple of years ago, someone did a story of what it's like to get out of there and leave when everything's done.
I wonder if it's worse than a Dodgers game. Absolutely brutal.
Yeah.
But, that's part of the gig, I guess. I've been to, different racetracks for NASCAR. You're talking 140,000 people probably? Gotta tell you, not that bad.
Really?
Yeah.
Surprised by that.
Yeah. In-pocket plays coming up next year and Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine, and maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them, from disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
On coke if his girlfriend was not done.
These games are a burial, a blowout, a human lock. You can bet your children's children on these games.
I was so good that whenever I bet, I could change the odds for every bookmaker in the country.
All right, some rough days with the props here. Cunningham to lead in PRA. It was all Brunson last night. He was great. And what a performance. Oh, down set. That was so good. Down 7 with 2:30. He gets the and 1. I don't know how he made that shot. The kiss off the glass. And how about I thought he was going to step out of bounds or fall down. Then he lays it in.
Yeah, true.
And they get the Brunson tip. And then in a tie game, which is a tough beat, under 2.5 made threes. In a tie game, he puts Thompson on skates and nails the 3. Incredible. What a performance. Joker under points was a winner. I come right back with that tomorrow in Game 7, 28.5. Pistons to win the series, no good. What a series it was, though. Phenomenal. And the Pistons were game wild. The back and forth, the runs, and the road team won for the last 5. Denver +7 a winner. Stone over 1.5 shots on goal winner. Kings to win the series, no good. Obviously, Kings to win the cup, no good. And the Minnesota misery continues. Notes again with the Minnesota Wild. They've lost 9 playoff series in a row, third longest in history, 8 one-and-dones, second longest in history. And all the major sports, it's the longest drought considering a team has never made the playoffs 8 times in a 10-year span and gone one and done. All 8. Bananas. Only in Minnesota.
You're right.
They led the series 2-1. Well, if they get me, they get me. So I know John says it's getting a little too high, and he could be right with the +5.5, but there are 5s out there. In 2022, up 3-1, Golden State went to Memphis. They laid down and lost by 39. Bounced back, won the series, starters were out, no problem, got it done. Up 3-1, they went back to Houston, and with 5:50 left in the third quarter, they were down 29, and Kerr said, that's it, we're done. We're pulling everyone, and we're getting ready for tonight's game. I live and breathe. I have a little fatigue. I love Curry. I have a little Golden State fatigue. Although I respect the organization. And green is hard to take. But I think they get it done tonight. Laid the 5, and I agree with the move, a 4-point move on the total. How Houston has gone more up-tempo and played faster. Not to mention what Van Vliet has done the last couple games. I like him over 2.5 made threes as well. Pacers plus, you mentioned this the other day, I like it. Pacers plus 2.5 games, -140 against the Cavs. That's plus 2.5 games. And that is up to 8.5 in Game 1 on Sunday. Pacers plus 2.5 games. There's Freddie over. Blues team total over 2.5. Okay, maybe the Jets can win the game, but I can't see Hellebuck holding them to 2 or fewer goals. How the series has played out where he's been chased and pulled in the first 2 games in St. Louis, and his track record in history on the road, where he's given up 4+. What that run's been. Blues over 2.5 goals, team total. And this is League 2. Getting a little hardcore. But it's the final match of the year in the lower leagues. This has playoff implications. We're going Chesterfield, $1.40 against Accrington. Good luck out there, and it's they need it against a blousy team and a bad bunch, bottom of the table in League 2. Pacers to win the East, 19-1. Blues to win the series, +150. As I said here, I'd put this game in my back pocket. I've won 14 in a row at home, and Hellebuck's a mess on the road. I'm getting this game tonight. We'll see Eddie O live from Winnipeg Sunday night.
I hope you're right. All right. Worst week I think I've had ever at VSiN. That's how bad it was. I'm feeling the pain, feeling the misery, the pocketbook, the bankroll. Oofda.
What's going on with Cat?
I'm off.
Are you done?
He's dead to me. I can't bet him anymore. Unless he would go to like 3-1 or 4-1 on over 2.5 made threes, but not even a look last night. So 0 for 4 last night with the plays. That was no good. But I will say this. With the numbers that I grabbed yesterday and the matchups that were on the court or on the field in front of me, I'd bet those 3 in the same spot all over again. I would not bet Towns again. But I would bet Norman Powell over 2.5 made threes. That was plus 130. That was a loser. He went off, had a great game. I would bet that again. Mikko Rantanen was red hot with the shots on goal. I had over 2.5 plus 105. No good. I'd bet that again. And Duran, again, same spot here against
his numbers
Rios.
were unbelievable against him.
Sure.
I know.
But you know what? If they played again today, I would bet minus 115 at over 1.5 total bases. So
he get a hit in the first at bat?
Yes, he did. Yeah, and then that was all she wrote. The 2 winners from Wednesday were Freddie Freeman over total bases 1.5, and Philly's run line got there against the Nationals. That was Sanchez going against Jake Irvin, and Schwarber hit a 3-run shot right away in the first inning. Tonight, I'm on this game at 7.5 over minus 120 with the Rockies and the Giants. Now, the wind is blowing out. That can't hurt. So it's going to be about 14 miles an hour. But also, this is more about Senzatella, who has allowed 2.15 home runs per 9, most out of any starting pitcher going today, and one of the highest marks in baseball this entire year for any starting pitcher. And Robbie Ray, I know that they're undefeated in his starts, but he's also a fly ball pitcher, and he's allowed about 1.5 home runs per 9 this well. I think I'm hoping we get a little home run derby tonight with the wind howling out there at Oracle Park in San Francisco. So I bet that over 7.5. I laid 20 cents. And in that same game, Jung-Hoo Lee over 1.5 total bases plus 107. He has 11 doubles on the year. I don't hate like plus 290 to have a double in that game tonight. And Tigers most wins in May, 16-1. Comeback victory. Last night, this Angels team right now, current form. And now Trout's on the IL.
Oh, yeah.
And now
issues, yeah.
Look, I like Soriano going tonight for the Angels, but you have to love Skubal, and I do. And so let's get off to a good start here with this Tigers prop bet for the most wins in May.
Whether you're placing your first bet or you've been playing the ponies for years, VSiN's Kentucky Derby betting guide has everything you need to get ahead on Derby Day. Guys did a great job. Check it out. And if you're a beginner, they got good breakdowns on how to bet on horse racing. Best bets from the top experts. Guides yours with the VSiN Pro subscription. Start today, just $9.99. Get your first 30 days of VSiN Pro. Derby Guide, best bets, betting splits. VSiN.com/subscribe. The morning email from Bill Ading, every pick, every host, every guest. Nigel with soccer. Colin with the NBA, WNBA. Mackinnon with the trends, all the baseball picks as well. Burke up there, VSiN.com/subscribe.
So you're prepared to be disappointed tomorrow in the Derby?
Well, I'm just saying
what
there's
is this?
a lot of times it's a letdown.
This whole lead in the whole week, come on, they're not going to start the race. It takes 6 hours to get to it. Hey, it takes 2 minutes. It's over with.
Yeah.
Very disappointing.
I'm going to have fun tomorrow. It's going to be good. And watch it with Paul Bovey.
Yeah, you're going to go to a book tomorrow and bet all the races,
right?
I
love his line regarding horse racing. Don't fight corruption. Get on the right side of it. He's always looking for shenanigans with the information with jockeys and trainers and what's going on and who had the shot. And oh, man.
I just tweeted this photo out, by the way, taken many years ago. Our good buddy Brian Blessing used to say this every year in April, and then specifically this week, because he was such a big horse racing guy and a big hockey guy. He would say, hockey and horse racing, the best time of year. So at Mitch Moss Radio on X, we're sitting at a Las Vegas Gladiators game together. To his left, one row down, is Dave Koken, who was...
And we're great.
God, we just love both those guys so much. They're no longer with us. And John Hansen is to my right, who we used to work with here in Las Vegas. He sent me the photo recently, and I was like, oh, my God, I have not seen this thing in forever. That was the day in which you put on the jersey with
played
the
in
pads.
I played in a game.
You played in the, well, you want to call it a game, fine. It was like
what the hell was it then? It was a game. They gave me the ball on an end around, I broke a tackle.
You broke.
Yes, I did. And then what happened?
Oh, you got absolutely smoked. And your mouth guard went flying up, I think, 8 rows past where I was sitting.
So then the DB's talking trash. You better get this guy out of here. Like, take it easy. He's a media guy. He's talking trash, standing over me, flexing, and I got right back up. Yep. So Jason Fife from Oregon and Craig Wheelahan, former NFL Charger, they were the quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
didn't drop a pass in practice for 2 days. Feel good about it.
You should.
Feel good. Feel good about this, too. Check out on X, and they teased it, or the ad. The Derek Stevens tweet has 1.1 million views.
Yeah, you think
the
people
guarantee?
You think people are going to be excited about getting into Survivor again this year, and the millions?
Yep. Tune in May 22nd, right here. Follow the money. He will announce how much he'll be putting up this season. And it was a great ad, tie-in with the Batman. Great job by everyone involved with Circa. And the schedule comes out May 14th, and then May 22nd, the big announcement here on the show.
Yeah.
So thanks for that.
It's going to be very exciting, and we don't know what it is. We're going in fresh like everybody else is. I can't wait for that day to find out. Anyway, good luck with the bets tonight. Enjoy the playoffs and with the Derby tomorrow. Hope you have a great time. Make that mint julep, by the way, that JR made on the show yesterday.
Yes.
And stay tuned. VSiN Prime Time is next for 4 hours. We'll see you.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger. Because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.